All right, Galino is almost ready here. Alrighty, it looks like timers are starting to count down here, so we'll be ready to go in just a second. Alrighty, welcome everyone to another Heart Gold Soul Silver glitchless Manipless race. This is part of a annual tournament that we have recently started. This is our second year of doing these tournaments. This is going to be a Manipless and glitchless category, which means we will not be using any RNG manipulation whatsoever or any glitches, which makes things a very race-friendly category, as well as a very easy category for people to just pick up and play for anyone interested in learning the category. So the first thing we got to take care of is the classic intro scene with Professor Oak. There's nothing too special here. We are going to pick the girl, and that'll be useful to save a little bit of time later on. I'll get to that when we get to it. We're also going to name ourselves only one character. That is because naming ourselves one character means that there's less text that needs to be drawn on screen whenever our name gets mentioned. And each character that gets drawn on stream costs 1 frame to draw. So every character costs 1 frame, so we want to use or have as little characters printed on the screen as possible. And we will be nicknaming some Pokemon along the way too in order to help minimize the amount of text that gets drawn on screen. So our mom is going to give us all of our options here. We're going to go ahead and set some necessary options here. The biggest ones being text speed too fast and making sure that our battle style is set to set, so we're not being told which Pokemon is getting swapped in all the time, as well as animations off. So that way, battles are as quick as they can be, text can be as quick as they can be, so we can get through the game as quick as can be, because this is about a 4-hour category. So another thing that you didn't get to see, but as the Raiders were getting set up, they were setting their date and time to a specific day. Now, I know I mentioned that this isn't a RNG specific category. With that in mind, though, we still do want to set our time to a specific date and time, particularly January 1st. January 1st is a day that has no hail. Instead, what it has is called Diamond Dust. This will be useful for the final fight because that means that there will be no hail while we're dealing with the toughest fight in the game. I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get there, though. That's leagues away from us right now. So we're going to pick up our starter here. We're going to pick up Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is the best starter here. we're dealing with a lot of Bellsprout early on, which are all grass types. So having a one-shot when we hit level 10 is really nice. There's also a lot of other fights where Cyndaquil is just a better pick overall. So I'm gonna get some potions from the professor's assistant here, so we can heal early on if necessary. Runner's gonna go talk to mom. Nothing too interesting here in this early part. Things will get interesting very quickly, though. One last thing, Elm's going to run out and give us his phone number so we can call him. We're never going to call him. He's always going to call us. But now we can head out onto Route 29 and get started with the fun stuff here. So we want to minimize our wild encounters as much as possible, and unfortunately Galino got one right away here. This isn't all bad news, though. We do want to kill a Pokemon for experience. We're just a hair shy of getting the experience we need for some fights. So as you can see here, Jielefe on the right opted to kill this level 2 Pidgey. That'll give him enough experience to be able to take care of some fights later on. I didn't see if Galino killed the Pidgey that he encountered, or if he got 2 encounters. But each of these runners are going to be looking for either a Pidgey or a Sentret to kill. Rattata, that's a pretty rare spawn. Not something we want to take on, though. So I know that I mentioned early on in the run that they needed a specific date set. They also, to be optimal, want a specific time set, usually just shy of 4 a.m. Because when it is before 4 a.m., Oak has the fastest intro text mentioning about getting up and whatnot. It's like the very first TikTok he says. But then also, by the time you get to Route 29, it'll roll over to 4 a.m., and that means you can start encountering Sentret, because during the night you cannot encounter Sentret, I believe. We do want to encounter Sentret, because Sentret is going to be our HM friend for the duration of this run, so if we can't encounter one because it's the wrong time of day, that gets things complicated real quick. So all of our runners still pretty close within each other here. One encounter kind of changes the difference on who's in the lead at this point. So the very early part of the run here is very volatile for that reason. Very easy for our leads to change up a ton in the first 25-ish minutes here. Just a lot of variability when it comes to wild encounters and early trainer fights when we have a Cyndaquil at such a low level. Another thing that will kind of matter is stats, but we won't get into stats until we start leveling up here. But we are going to jump into this house here and pick up the apricorn box. If we didn't go into the house to pick it up, he would come out to us, and then it's faster for us to go to him than him to come to us. We'll just pop in and pick up the box quick, and then we'll carry on to Mr. Pokemon's house here. Now, there's 2 different routes you can kind of take. The left is a little safer, but the right is a little faster at the cost of being a little riskier with the amount of grass you have to go through. Another thing you might notice as these runners flee from their encounters is that they will run just a couple of tiles. This is because in this game, after having a wild encounter, you get a few frames of invincibility. And with those few frames of invincibility, you can get a couple of running tiles in, which makes it much faster than walking those few tiles. So just really minor time saves that you really want to be conscious of, especially this early in the run when you're going to hit a lot of wild encounters. You want to try and save as much time as possible. All three of our runners getting to the egg within a reasonable amount of time of each other. Still, one encounter will offset the lead here. Galino and Afonso almost frame perfect with each other. Gonna pick up the Pokedex here, standard for any Pokemon game. Gonna also get Professor Oak's phone number. And then we get to have more fun with encounters. But not after, or not before, we get a phone call from Elm here about someone breaking in. Afonso, fortunately, hitting an encounter, so Galino is going to take the lead here. Now we're going to be heading into our first rival fight. So we want to be full health for a rival fight. So we want to make sure that we kill something before the rival, or before Mr. Pokemon's house, but not between Mr. Pokemon and the rival. The rival has a pretty good chance to kill us, especially if we have a less than ideal Cyndaquil. So we want to go in with as much health as possible. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up 2 Leers to drop Totodile to -2 defense, and then we're going to hit it with 3 tackles. Ideally, we would get a crit in one of these tackles, but that's not always the case, of course. Galino is going to go for a safety heal on Totodile here. He must have been really scared that Totodile was going to do something. You are usually faster. Ooh, good heal from Galino. The Totodile went for that scratch crit. Galino would likely not heal from this health unless crit. Having to use 2 potions on the rival, though, is awful. So Afonso is going to take the lead here, beating rival 2 without much issue. Looks like good stats overall. I didn't see any 9s on there, so that's always good to see. I did see a 9 for Galino, and I believe special defense. Either special defense or special attack. I didn't quite get to catch it. And I did not catch Jielefe's at all. So. There are a couple of stats that you want to keep an eye out for. The most important one is special attack out of them all. But you can't really... But you also want to see good special defense and good HP and good attack. But you can't always get everything. If you have bad attack, you can kind of make it up by picking up an X attack early on. But ideally, we wouldn't have to pick it up. However, every Cyndaquil is runnable. Just some are easier to run than others. And there's always that great Pokemon luck factor with critical hits and bad AI that just ruins things for you. So we're going to name the rival here 1 character. We also named our Cyndaquil 1 character. That way, as I said before, we'll have as little text on the screen as possible to save as many frames as we can. And Elvin's going to be telling us all about the gym challenge and entrust us with this egg that we will definitely take care of for him and not dump him the PC at our earliest convenience. All right, now we're going to be going to catching tutorial here. Catching tutorial is the reason why we picked a female character. If we were playing as the guy, as the girl teaches us the catching tutorial stuff, it would kind of run off and do a catch without us, and it would result in losing a bunch of time because they do a little dancing animation of them quote unquote battling, and then they come back and they say something like, "Did you catch that?" or something, but they ran off instead of showing you how to catch or something like that. So picking the girl is faster. Now that we're through catching tutorial and we can actually catch some Pokemon, we are going to go and try to catch a Sentret here. Ideally, we will find one without having to hunt for it. We are going to just sprint through the grass. Well, you typically would sprint through the grass because you want to have an encounter, and running makes it easier to get an encounter. So ideally, you would sprint through the grass and try to get a Sentret as quickly as you can, while also saving time because you're running to the next area. Galino finding his Sentret right away, though. He's going to use, I believe he used 2 tackles on Sentret there to weaken it. I believe at about that health, it's around a 70% chance to catch. Or to catch, sorry. Yeah, it's about a 78% chance to catch at around half HP. So Galino having that breakout there is very unfortunate. 2 breakouts. That's really unlucky. Jielefe now catching his Sentret as Afonso is working on weakening it. There is a chance that these Sentret have 3 breakouts. This Sentret is insane. These Sentret do have a chance of having an Oran Berry, which can sometimes throw a wrench in your plans when you're trying to weaken the Sentret. Alright, finally getting the catch on the 4th ball for Galino. That is awful luck. That's like a 1 in 64 or something that he did not get that catch. Another Sentret had to show up just to mock him, of course. Afonso is going to be taking an early lead here. He's got a Sentret in hand. He's running off to the next trainer fight here. Not before finding an encounter on the last tile before the trainer. This first trainer, this Rattata can be a troll. If it crits you, it is not a great time. It may or may not hit me while I was doing a practice race last night. Afonso is going to go for a safety heal here. More encounter checks here. Mom is gonna call us on this tile here, asking if she wants us to save up some money. Money is pretty tight on this run, so we're gonna say no. Also, because she'll spontaneously call us and tell us about all the random stuff that she's bought that we should go pick up. Most of it is not useful for the run at all, and the time it would take to get it is not worth our time. And whatever she buys is random, so we're not going to do anything related to that whatsoever. Afonso finally getting out of the wild grass and into the gate. So Afonso is going to be taking the lead here, heading into Violet City by a decent amount. So now that we're here in Violet City, we're going to want to peek into the center real quick, not necessarily to heal, but just as a safety measure for the race. If you die in Violet City and did not stop at the Violet City Center, you will wind up all the way back at Mom's house, which means not only do you have to come all the way back, but you have to come all the way back dealing with encounters. And that's no bueno. So we are going to make sure that we set that safe point if we die, which is a good chance to die in Violet. We don't lose as much time. We're going to be working our way up Sprout Tower because it is mandatory in this game to do Sprout Tower. We're basically just going to tackle all the Bellsprout that we can find until we get Ember. And then once we get Ember, we will Ember all the Bellsprouts, and that'll be a one-shot. Some runners will opt to use Leer because a thing to note about this game is Tackle does not have a 100% accuracy. So if you miss a lot of tackles, that is obviously time lost. That 95% accuracy sometimes turns into 50% accuracy, it feels. Correct, and I don't think you can get Mom's phone calls, so having those pop up sporadically through the run is not ideal either. We're going to see a lot of levels in Sprout Tower here, so we get a pretty good chance to take a look at everyone's stats and see how things are looking. Particularly at level 9, we can figure out if they will need an X attack or not for Rival 2. At level 9, you're looking for a 15 or above attack. These Bellsprouts are not too threatening. Their Vine Whip usually only does 1, and I think the crit does 3 or something. Galino can skip the X attack now. Jielefe unfortunately getting an encounter on the first floor here. There are encounters in Sprout Tower. However, the odds of getting an encounter are so low that it is usually better to just run. And you'll typically only see 1 encounter on average, even though you're running through an area where you can find wild encounters. So. Afonso getting level 10 now. That means he can actually use Ember, which is great. Afonso unfortunately getting an encounter on that top floor. He seems to have started moving right a tile early. This guy here is an optional, and he did correct that to get away from him. So thankfully, that encounter kind of saved him from having to do an extra fight. Lots of encounters going on here. Galino is going to opt to kill this Rattata for a little extra XP. This will make Hoot Hoot a little bit easier if he gets a level up before Hoot Hoot. Did he just get another encounter immediately after? What are the odds of that? Galino is getting all the bad luck here. Tons of encounters in Sprout Tower and 3 balls or 4 balls to catch Centret. Like, holy moly. That's a tough start. Afonso is now making his way onto Elder Lee, however. Elder Lee can be a bit of a tricky fight. He has a Hoot Hoot that he sends out second that knows Hypnosis. And we do not have anything that will cure sleep. So if we fall asleep, we kind of just have to suck it up. Peck only does usually 4 damage to us. It can do 6 if it gets a really lucky roll, or if if he crits, or if we have really bad defense. But usually, Hoot will only do 4 to us with Peck. So ideally, we would like to see a little bit of Blaze, which is Cyndaquil's special ability that boosts his fire moves when he has a third or less of his HP. We'd also love to not get put to sleep. So Afonso getting a Hypnosis miss. You love to see that. Unfortunately, getting put to sleep on the second Hypnosis, I believe. Jielefe is now starting Hoot Hoot with Blaze to begin. That's nice to see. Hypnosis miss is also really nice, so he's going to get 2 shots off with Blaze. The burn is nice. He's going to be put to sleep. So I believe he's going to go for the heal here just to be safe. In case Hoot Hoot goes to attack, which it most likely will because he's already asleep. And then burn will finish off Hoot Hoot. Now it's just a matter of waking up for Elsewhere. And that heal there for Jielefe means that he might not have to heal outside of battle for Faulkner, as long as he doesn't take too much damage from his spell throw. Afonso now through Elder Lee, which is nice to see. That means he's going to be taking on Faulkner here in a second. He's going to pick up an escape rope so he doesn't have to climb all the way back down the tower. And he's also likely going to heal his club. You ideally want to go into Faulkner with pretty high health, so that way you don't get trolled and have to heal at an inopportune time. Galino killing Hoot Hoot with a burn as he's asleep. Hopefully he'll wake up for a Bell Sprout relatively quickly. So we're going to be heading into the gym here. Faulkner can be a bit of a troll. His lead Pidgey has Sand Attack. Sand Attack reduces our accuracy, and we don't want that. So unfortunately, that happened to Afonso. He's going to switch into Centret. He switched into Centret a little earlier than ideal, in my opinion, because he is likely not to kill Pidgey with this Ember. And that means he has a chance of being hit with Sand Attack and be up the paddle without a creep, meaning that there's just no way for him to get his accuracy back anymore. But he didn't get punished for it. Pidgey went for tackle, so that's great. Jielefe now also threw Pidgey, I believe. They're almost frame perfect with each other, it looks like. So we're going to be going even into Pidgeotto here. Now, the tricky thing about Pidgeotto is that it has Roost. And as soon as it's taken any damage, it has a 50-50 chance of using Roost. So ideally, we would like it to not go for Roost. Getting a burn here sometimes helps as well. We'd also like to be slower than Pidgeotto. There are some Cyndaquils that can be faster or even worse speed type Pidgeotto. Jielefe getting a crit, unfortunately, from Pidgeotto. That means he's going to have to retry the fight. Afonso looks like he got through without any issues, though, so he's going to be moving on to the next part of the run here. Jielefe, unfortunately, wiping out here. Galino learning Quick Attack and getting into Pidgeotto here. Let's hope his Pidgeotto goes well. So it looks like his Cyndaquil is unfortunately faster, which is not great, but he was able to play it well. He knew that Blaze Ember would kill. So he'll be moving on, thankfully, without any issues. So coming out of Faulkner here, it looks like we'll have Afonso in the lead. Galino will be within a minute behind, and Jielefe might be about a minute and a half, 2 minutes behind him, as long as this fight doesn't go too terribly for him. Alright, Jielefe getting a tackle there, that's good. That means he won't have to switch to Sentra in order to restore his accuracy, so that'll save him a little bit of time. Now on to Pidgeotto here. Here's where things really matter. Getting a crit there is not great. He's going to go for a potion to be safe, it looks like. Pidgeotto, unfortunately, also opting to use Roost. Gus there doing 9. It's getting close. He should... That quick attack is not going to kill. And unfortunately, Pidgeotto's going to go for Roost. Unfortunately, just outside of Blaze. He's going to have to heal now. Hopefully, Pidgeotto doesn't also go for a Roost. This Pidgeotto is being awfully rude. Nice tackle. Another Roost. Gonna get a Blaze Ember off here, that's nice. But he's still gonna have to heal. This is just the unfortunate part of Faulkner. You can burn a lot of your potions, which is not great to have happen. He should be able to survive an attack here if he went for it. He's just gonna go for a heal, though, it looks like. I think a Blaze Ember would have killed from there. As long as the special attack isn't too bad. And another Roost. Oh, no. Okay, crit double 1 and a burn. Alright, and didn't get the Roost. Oh, and a crit back. Whoa. Alright, Jielefe is now through Faulkner. Very intense fight. Alright, so I know I graced over it a little bit earlier, but our winners were going to do some quick shopping and pick up the egg because it's mandatory. They're going to pick up some supers and some repels and a couple of antidotes to deal with poison because we're going to be dealing with some poison in the next little section here. So Afonso unfortunately hit an optional. Usually you can get through him without any issue, but looks like he might have slacked a little bit and got hit by him on accident. This guy only has a whooper, though, so it's not too bad. But still not someone you really want to hit. So Galino is working his way through Union Cave now, and this is going to be the first case of spinners. Galino just passed one now. Spinners are trainers that can move around randomly. Our goal is to get past them without hitting them. There are a couple of movement patterns that we can do in order to get past them. Basically, what you do is you stand 2 tiles away from their line of sight that you're going to go past. And then what you do is you wait for them to spin and walk 1 tile and immediately pull up the menu using X. Once you have done that, and assuming they are still looking the opposite direction, you can press X to clear the menu, because B will make you run, and running is bad. And then you can just walk into their line of sight and then start running away and get past them scot-free. Afonso looks like he unfortunately hit another spinner or optional that has an Onyx. That's going to be really awkward. Onyx is a pretty bulky Pokemon overall. I'm not sure which trainer he hit. I'm assuming he hit the first hiker. On accident. It is a pretty tight movement to get past him without him seeing you, but you can get past him without any issue. Galino is now making his way into Slowpoke Well. Slowpoke well, it is usually not worth to repel. Some runners will opt to, and it looks like Galino did not opt to. And wow, getting punished on encounters. Galino has just had some awful encounter luck with this run so far. Afonso hitting another spinner. He unfortunately did not set up right on that spinner, so he spun and saw him as he went to go past. You want to do that one-step movement as soon as he turns, because you want to be able to line up your movement with when and how he spins. So if you don't wait for him to spin initially before you do your first step into the menu, your pass is not safe, and you can unfortunately get hit like that. Afonso getting through this Geodude without any issue, though, as Galino is working his way through Slowpoke well here. Ooh, this hiker has 3. That's unfortunate. Afonso's going to be getting really tight on Embers here. There is a center right outside of Union Cave if he wanted to go back and heal to be safe. But there are no other fights that are mandatory between here and Azalea. So as long as he doesn't hit another optional, he should be fine. Jielefe is starting to catch up now, coming back from that awful Faulkner fight. I did not catch if this was going to be a safe spinner pass. Looks like he still got away with it anyway. Afonso got past the last one without any issue. That one just has a singular Slowpoke and isn't too bad to get through. Afonso's going to take it safe through the grass. I don't know if he has a repel up or not. Looks like that answers it for us. Going through the grass there guarantees that you can get past the last hiker without any issues. That hiker just north of Afonso is very scary because he has a Geodude and a Machop, and it's raining out, so your fire moves do not a lot of damage, which is very scary to have happen. Looks like Jielefe hit the Slowpoke trainer, unfortunately. The Slowpoke can be a bit of a troll because it has Yawn. So being put to sleep while, again, you don't have any, anything to cure being put to sleep. You're unfortunately just stuck trying to get through it. Slowpoke spamming Growl on him too. Afonso's going to stop at the center here. If your Ember PP is bad, you want to stop at the Azalea Center as soon as you get into town. Because otherwise you just don't have the Embers to get through the rest of the area. If you come out of Faulkner with good Ember PP, you can do Slowpoke well early, which is what I believe Galino did. And that way you can utilize Blaze while in Slowpoke well to deal more damage. Now, Galino is facing this Coughing here. It is the last poke within Slowpoke well here. It went for Smog, which has a chance to poison you, and it is not a good time when it does. Fortunately, it missed Smog, though, so Galino is going to get through Slowpoke well scot-free. So Galino is going to have a couple of minutes ahead of everyone else here as he finishes up Slowpoke well. Afonso is just starting, and Jielefe is at least setting the warp point when he dies to Azalea. I don't know if he's going to go for the Ember heal here. He probably doesn't have to, even though he hit that spinner because he died at Faulkner. But that Faulkner was really long, though, so I don't know how many Embers he actually has, thinking about that. He's thinking about it, and he's decided against it. So we'll see how many Embers he has here when he picks up the first rocket fight here. So now Galino is going to stop at the center here. Now he's going to heal Kulaba, so he gets all his Embers back because he is going to be really low at this point. You're also going to drop off the egg because you don't need the egg. He's going to leave Sentret in the PC, which leaves me to believe that he's going to do Bugsy early. There's kind of a little fork in the road on what you can do here when you get to Azalea after Slowpoke well. You can either opt to do the rival fight first or Bugsy first. Doing Rival 2 first makes Bugsy a little nicer to deal with. However, not every Cyndaquil is capable of taking care of Rival 2 early. You need really good special defense and HP, as well as good attack. Now, if you have bad attack, you can kind of mitigate it with an X attack. So that kind of handles if you have less than ideal attack, but if you have like bottom of the barrel F tier attack, then even with the X attack, it is not worth doing Rival 2. So Jielefe is going to go for a safe heal here on Ekans. You would like to take advantage of Blaze in here if you can. But with the coughing at the end and some Zubats that no Confuse Ray, things can get really hairy really fast if you are lower health and hurt yourself in Confusion. But Galino is going to be working his way to Bugsy here. Bugsy has a Scyther at the start. Scyther knows Focus Energy, Leer, and Quick Attack. I don't know what its last move is, but it like almost never uses it for the sake of the speedrun, so it doesn't matter to us. But it could still be a very scary fight because Focus Energy brings the odds of a critical hit from 1 in 16 to 1 in 4, which are not great odds. And Scyther can also sometimes use Leer, which will make bad go to worse. So basically the strategy here is to just use Ember and Prey. Since Scyther likes to use Quick Attack, there is no Quilava that will be faster than Scyther. Unless it uses some other move. Okay, its last move is Fury Cutter. It never goes for Fury Cutter. Getting a wild crit on Galino there, but he's in Blaze Ember, so that's going to take out Scyther. Really lucky that he got that he not only survived that, but got to get a Blaze off of that to kill Scyther. Bugsy's second and third, and Metapod and Kakuna are not intimidating whatsoever because they will crumple under one Ember regardless of our health. And we're faster, so they are not intimidating whatsoever. Once you're through that Scyther, it's a pretty free Bugsy fight, so. So GG's for Galino getting through Bugsy with a very lucky Ember crit there. Afonso is going to opt for early arrival here. So the deal with early arrival is it makes Bugsy a little easier to go through, as I may have mentioned earlier. It just gives you a couple extra levels that makes things a little better. But doing Rival 2 early or late does not make it any more easier. It's kind of a play-off. Do you want Bugsy to be a pain or Rival to be a pain? So this Ghastly, fortunately for Afonso, he crit it, so he didn't have to deal with anything. But Ghastly takes 2 shots to kill, and it knows both Spite and Curse. Curse is not great to see because you will have to switch out Quilava in order to get rid of it. Now, this Croconaw has a very likely chance of using Scary Face and spamming Scary Face. It really likes to drop your defense or your speed, sorry. When it doesn't want to use Scary Face, though, its other move that it likes to go for is Water Gun. Now, having good special defense matters for Rival 2 because it can be the difference between Water Gun doing 20 and 24 damage. So ideally, we want to be able to tank 2 Water Guns from full. So it doing 20 just makes the fight a lot more consistent. Unfortunately, Afonso got a Water Gun crit there, but at least he was from full, so he was able to tank it. A Water Gun crit at the wrong time can really throw things off here. You do need to Leer Croconaw 2 or 3 times, depending on how many, or depending on which you do first. If you do Rival 2 first, then you're going to want to get 2 Leers and an X attack off. If you do Rival 2 later, you can only do the 2 Leers and be fine. If you forget to grab the X attack and you have bad attack, you can back it up with 3 Leers, but getting the X attack is better than getting the Leer, I believe. Or is at least preferred. So Afonso got through Crocona. Galino also threw Crocona without any issue here. Jielefe is going to be starting Crocona here, as he does early Rival 2 as well. So don't be mistaken with all three of our racers being on the same fight here. Galino is in the lead because he is taking care of Bugsy already. Unfortunately, Afonso and Galino are both confused off of this Zubat. This Zubat does have confusion, which is very annoying. Now, since both Afonso and Jielefe opted to do Rival 2 early, at some point they're going to want to kill off Sentret. This is because in Bugsy's gym, there is a double fight that would be triggered if you do not have, or if you have 2 Pokemon that are alive in your party. So killing Sentret in this fight while doing Rival early allows you to not have to stop at the center again and dump off Sentret. But it also means you don't have to pick up Sentret later, because if you dump him in the PC, you need to pick him up almost immediately after to get through Ilex Forest. So Galino and Afonso both through Rival 2 now, but Afonso is going to have to take on Bugsy as Galino gets out of Azalea without a death, which is great to see. It is not uncommon for a racer to wipe during Azalea, with the chance of critical hits and just very unfortunate fights that you have to take on in this area. So Jielefe also getting through Rival 2 now, so he's going to be going on to Bugsy in just a second here. Galino's going to be doing the minigame here, or side quest, whatever you want to call it, with the Farfetch'd. Nothing too crazy there. Just focusing on putting the Farfetch'd in the right spot so that you can catch it as quickly as possible. Also manipulating your repel route so that your repel ends between picking up the second Farfetch'd and having to teach cut on Sentret so that you can save a menu. So the one gym trainer that you do have to fight in Bugsy's gym, he could be a bit of a troll because Beedrill has Fury Attack, which can attack you a bunch of times. You want to go in with high HP into Bugsy if possible. But I think for our runners, a lot of healing items have been burned up. Afonso, unfortunately, should not have switched that lever off, so he's going to be taking a wrong path and getting punished with an extra trainer. Not sure if that was intended or not for extra XP or what. Looks like this guy only has a Paris. I didn't know what he had. So that should just be an easy Ember for him. His Ember PP is looking really low, though. If he runs out of PP on Scyther, that's going to be a very scary situation to be in. I saw it in the yellow, so I don't know how much it has, but hopefully it's not an issue. Going back to correct his mistake now. Jielefe is going to creep just ahead of him because of that optional. So they're going to be neck and neck going into Bugsy here, it looks like. Seconds apart. Galino also picked up an X attack, I believe, just a second ago. I didn't catch him do it, but usually you would catch up you would pick up an X attack, and that'll be useful for Morty, the 4th gym leader, coming up here. Alright, let's hope that this Scyther isn't too bad for both Afonso and Jielefe here. Focus energy, that's not something you like to see. There's a good chance that Jielefe dies to crit here, I believe. Looks like Afonso... Oh no, Afonso got crit! Oh no, if he didn't crit, I think that would have been a win. Jielefe, though, down to 1 HP, getting through Scyther. So Jielefe will be, unfortunately, moving on. Afonso wiping out at the Azalea Center. He's now going to have to drop off Sentret in the PC, because there's no way to kill off Sentret at this point. So to be able to avoid another optional fight, he's going to dump Sentient now. A death to Bugsy is worse than a death to Rival 2 because if you die to Bugsy, you have to go all the way back through the gym puzzle. Compared to if you die to Rival, you just jump out of the center and run straight left like 15 tiles and you're there. So it is unfortunate, but not unexpected to see a death to Bugsy on this race. Just unfortunate with all the other things that have happened so far to Afonso. You hate to see it. So Galino is going to have maybe a 5-ish minute lead to Jielefe, give or take 2 minutes. More likely take 2 minutes. As Afonso's beginning Bugsy here. Galino is going to get the bike here. And register it right away, so that way you can zip around a lot quicker. Alright, Lear turn 1 is not great from Scyther. But at least it has not combated that with a focus energy. Good. I don't know. I don't think that's a good burn because that might put him into healing. Yeah. Bugsy unfortunately will heal if you get him low enough, so that burn came at the wrong time. Afonso is going to get the kill, though, so Afonso will be moving on from Bugsy here, too. He'll only be within probably 2 minutes behind. Meanwhile, Galino's going to be doing the quiz here for the radio item, I think, for the Pokegear. The quiz is the same every time, so as long as you memorize where to say yes or no, or true or false, or whatever, it is a free quiz to take. That quiz also unlocks Whitney, so it is required. And now we're going to be switching our main. We're going to go to the gate here, and this guy is going to tell us to deliver a letter for him. But instead of giving us just the letter, he's going to actually give us his Spearow. We are never going to give that Spearow back to him, unfortunately. So I hope he didn't miss it. And Fearow is really nice because it is a really good stat setup and nature for the next 2 fights, or next 2 big major fights, which would be Whitney and Morty. It is leagues better than dealing with Kolava, so. I think Afonso had to go back and correct the puzzle so he could leave the gym. So these 3 Jigglypuff have a 14 and 16 to die to Aerial Ace. If they don't die, you can just follow it up with Pursuit. Jielefe picking up the spare Super Potion here. I don't think he grabbed the X attack. So he might be going for some older strats on Morty. Afonso picking Sentret back up so that he can use Cut once he's in the Ilex Forest. Jielefe getting an encounter in Ilex. He must have forgot to use the repel somewhere, or is trying to use repel or something. Alright, so thankfully, after just these 2 fights, Spearow levels up and can evolve into Fearow. That makes Whitney even better of a fight. Ideally, we take no damage from both of these gym trainers. I did not catch how that second fight went for Galino, but considering he is sprinting straight to Whitney, things must be going fine. Now, one thing that we did do when we evolved is we taught Mirror Move, and there's two reasons for that. One reason is because Firo is going to try and relearn it again after evolving if we don't teach it now. Also, Mirror Move actually becomes useful for Whitney's Miltank. Miltank has a move called Stomp, and we can use Mirror Move to copy Stomp. And with Stomp, not only do we get a stab bonus, because Kenya is normal flying type, but also there's a chance for Miltank to flinch. But we do need to set up 2 Leers, though, so that 2 Stomps will kill. And we do need to heal at some point, because Stomp can do up to, I believe, 21 without a crit. So we want to heal to full after the 2 Leers in order to be safe. And fortunately for Galino, his health did not go so low that Whitney can use rollout. There is a chance that Miltank will go for rollout when you are really low health on your healing turn. But Galino is not low enough for Whitney to consider rollout. So fortunately, he was able to get through Whitney without an issue. If Miltank does go for rollout, you can still win the fight. You just have to back it up with Aerial Ace instead. If you don't catch rollout and end up in a rollout battle, there's a pretty good chance that you lose unless Miltank misses. Which, it's the enemy AI, it's never going to miss. Why would it ever miss, right? And things get even scarier if you don't catch it and lose, and it's still using rollout, because your Sentra is still dead. And Quilava dies very easily to rollout, so any misplay can turn Whitney into a disaster. I believe Jielefe had stopped at the center in Goldenrod to be safe. But Galino now finishing Whitney. He's going to go pick up the squirt bottle. And that will let him progress to the next town because there is a weird tree blocking the way that turns out to be a pseudo-Udo. Afonso picking up the full heal and ether that we will use later in the run as safety items. This camper is not a very scary fight. There are 2 spinners that are coming up after this fight for Galino, though, that he'll have to be careful for. Now, these spinners have a property that we call deaf. So when they are deaf, if you run past them, they will not turn in your direction. Some spinners, when you run around them, they have a habit of looking in your direction, kind of going out of their way to look at you. And both of these do not do that. You could still go for typical safe spinner minute passes like what Galino just did. But you can also just react to them turning and run past them. So Jielefe unfortunately taking some damage in the 2 fights in the gym, so he'll probably want to heal that before Whitney. Afonso just picking up the bike. With the Sudowoodo here, it provides no meaning to us if we battle it or catch it, so we're just going to run. And then this girl is going to give us some Pecha Berries and Oran Berries. The Oran Berries can become really nice for later down the line. If we want to set up a specific HP target for a fight, and there'll be plenty of those where that will come into consideration down the line here. It is very easy to forget about those Oran Berries, though, and you only get so many. Now, this double fight that Galino is going into here can be really trolly. They each have a Clefable and a Wigglytuff. And there are a lot of very trolly moves that each of these have, including Metronome, Encore, I think Disable even, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of really... and Double Slap. If Quilava is coming in Blaze, you can take care of the left side first. And if Quilava is not in Blaze, then you usually opt to go after the right side. So it's just a combination of Aerial Ace and Flame Wheel spam. You can use Ember too if you're in Blaze. Save some characters being printed on screen since Ember's name is shorter than Flame Wheel. This Clefable usually doesn't go down in one hit. Only went for Double Slap though. And then just going for a Leer quick attack to save Aerial Ace PP there. Since quick attack from that low will kill. So Galino got through the double fight without any troll. He opted to YOLO the grass and unfortunately got punished for that. Some runners will use a repel there. Some will opt to YOLO it. I'm assuming that Galino is going to use his last repel in Bird Tower. And unfortunately, he got 2 encounters in this grass. I believe it is worth it to get off the bike for that grass, but don't quote me on that. So Galino is taking care of a rocket fight here. This coughing is not guaranteed to kill. It's a 13 and 16 chance to kill. But we can just back it up with Pursuit. The only time it gets scary is when we're at low health, like what Kenya is now. Coughing can do some nasty things to us. And ideally, we don't want to heal until we have to, which will be in just a second anyway. But beating up that Rocket Grunt gets us access to Surf. We need to beat Morty's gym, though, in order to use it. Jielefe react past both of those spinners. I don't know how safe those passes were, but what matters most is that he got through it without an issue. Looks like he's going to heal his Kenya and Quilava, though, because they're very low health. Now, Galino is going to pick up some more Super Potions, a couple of Revives for safety here, some Super Repels to get us through the next section, as well as some Awakenings for the next section, because we're going to be dealing with a lot of Pokemon that could put us to sleep. He's also going to pick up some Paralyze Heals, and then 7 Repels. And then also before that, I believe he also picked up at least 1 Netball. We're going to be catching another Pokemon here shortly for one final main switch for the rest of the run. And that Netball guarantees the capture, so. Uses last repel and burnt tower here. Looks like he's not opting to heal Kenya or anything like that. So he's going to be doing some riskier strats here for Rival, I believe. So since the last time we've fought a Rival, he's picked up a Magnemite. And Magnemite versus Kenya is a very poor matchup. So we're going to want to switch to Kulava and kill it with a fire move instead. Afonso fortunately hitting an extra trainer in the gym. So because Kenya's health was so low, Kulava can get a free switch in because Magnemite is guaranteed to attack. This Magnemite does have the means of paralyzing and confusing like that, which is very unfortunate that Galino got paralyzed there. He at least managed to get through it without an issue, though. Now with Croconaw here, you want Croconaw to try and kill you as quickly as possible while also just popping off one Leer. This is obviously a really bad matchup, but we also want to make sure that we heal Kenya before we bring it out because this Croconaw does have Ice Fang, and Ice Fang will destroy Kenya if it's at low enough health for Croconaw to try to go for the kill. So instead, by healing Kenya up to near full health, Croconaw will instead just go for Scary Face, which will make things very easy for Galino. Last but not least is Zubat, which can confuse you still. And getting those two Scary Faces means that Zubat is, I believe, faster. So unfortunately, he did get the Supersonic off, but Galino hit through it without any issue and killed the Zubat, which is good to see. Looks like Jielefe is getting through the double fight now without much of an issue. Afonso has now beaten Whitney. So he'll be on his way now up to the double fight. Galino using the new tech of moving one tile up for this cutscene. The NPC movement is just a little more optimized when you go up a tile to the top part of these stairs. Afonso opting to run instead of putting on the bike. There he goes. Did he pick up the squirt bottle, though? I'm not sure if he picked up the squirt bottle. Hopefully he didn't forget. But now with the gym here, we would like to aerial ace as much things as we can here. That ether that we picked up in Ilex Forest we can use here if we want, but ideally we don't use it. But if we get some bad fights between the double fight, Morty, and the rival, sometimes we do have to use it. And some runners will opt to use it anyway, just so they don't have to be too worried or risk anything. So Jielefe is doing his shopping now. Afonso with an interesting spinner pass there. That first one looked really sketchy. Jielefe picking up the rare candy there. Looks like he's also going to pick up the Hyper Potion. Usually you pick that up a little later, but he's going to pick it up now for safety. And so he doesn't forget. So the movement here in the gym is pretty tricky. You can't see a lot of the time, so it comes down to execution and muscle memory and memorization and all that fun stuff. It is very easy to fall off if you're not careful. Looks like Afonso did forget the squirt bottle. And it looks like Afonso has opted to mark himself as DNF on race time. So unfortunately, looks like that's going to be the end of it for Afonso. All right, so for the rest of our runners here, Galino is going to be going into Morty here. Morty can be a little bit of a troll. He does have a Haunter that likes to use Curse. So this Haunter is a 50-50 to kill. And unfortunately, he doesn't get it and gets put to sleep. But that's all right, because we're going to set up an X attack that we picked up earlier. We needed the X attack for Gengar, which is his next poke anyway. So we'll just take the time to set up here, since Morty is going to, by default, go for a heal, so we get a free turn. And then using the Awakening there means that Hunter, who likes to go for Dream Eater when you're asleep, fails, so we get another free turn to wake up, and then we can kill it no issue, since we're now +1 attack. Agility is a useless move, so we're going to opt to not learn it. We do still need to set up one Leer on that Gengar, though. This last Haunter is an easy kill. And Galino will be getting past Morty without any issues here. So now we're going to be moving on to the great equalizer of this race for Galino, which will be getting a Magikarp. So just south of the Lake of Rage, there is a 1% chance to encounter a Magikarp. With the encounter math and everything, and the fact that we used a Super Repel, each movement is going to be about a 1 in 1,000-ish chance to encounter it. Now that means you can get very lucky or very unlucky. And hopefully for both of our runners, we see a very lucky case. But this could give Jielefe a chance to catch up here in Galino, since he's still a couple minutes behind. But the setup for the Magikarp, we need to teach Surf or on the Sentret. Another nice thing about our Sentret that we caught is that it only knows 2 moves when we got it. And since we're going to be teaching it 3 HMs over the course of the run, we save a little bit of time not having to forget more than 1 move. So it makes it by far the best HM trend that we can catch in the early part of the run. So now Galino's going to be making his way out to the water. We're going to maximize our odds of finding Magikarp as much as possible by going up and down on the water here. That makes it as likely as possible to hit an encounter. And now he's going to turn frame as much as possible. Now, I don't know what console or platform in general that Galino is playing on. If he's playing on original DS, this is the hardest movement to pull off, and it kind of looks like he's playing on original DS based on his turn frames. If you are playing on 3DS, it is the easiest. On 3DS, you have that little circle pad, and that makes it very free to spin as quickly as you can. And emulator, depending on what kind of controller you're using for an emulator, can also make it very easy. Galino found his Magikarp very quickly, so that is fortunate for him. He'll be able to make a lot of progress here. Now, hopefully his Magikarp has good stats. Any Magikarp is runnable, but we're hoping to find some good stats and nature combos here. Ideally, plus attack, plus speed, or plus special attack is what we're looking for in that order. Minus attack, minus special, and minus speed can make things very interesting. So we got a spinner here that we got to sneak past, and Galino does it without any issue. He's going to opt to take care of the red Gyarados first. Different runners have kind of a different means of taking care of evolving Magikarp, fighting the red Gyarados, and all of the story sequences that you need here. Jielefe just barely not getting the range on Haunter. But since he didn't get Hypnosis, he can easily kill. So that saved a turn on Galino because he didn't get put to sleep. And that's another rare candy there. We're going to be using the rare candies that we've picked. Oh, no, he hit the spinner. Oh, boy. So this spinner has, I believe, a Nidoking, and this Nidoking is not great to deal with when you have Kenya. Especially because at this point, Kenya does not have a lot of aerial aces. In fact, Galino has 0 aerial aces. So he's going to have to use Pursuit here to take care of this Nidoking. And the Nidoking did get a focus energy off, so its crit chance is way up, but looks like it's not doing a ton of damage, even if it has a chance to crit. The poison there is unfortunate, but he got through the fight in only 4 turns, so that's not terrible. If he had Gyarados and hit him, it'll only been a 1 turn, so... Galino's going to opt to heal the antidote. I don't think that there's the case where you need to use Kenya for the rest of the Johto area that I can think of off the top of my head, so I don't know how necessary that was, but when you don't know, it's better to play on the safe side. So Galino's going to work on getting his Gyarados set up now. He's going to give it 2 candies to level up to 52. And then he's going to teach it Strength and Surf. So minus defense plus special attack. You'll love to see it. Jielefe is now starting his Gyarados hunt. Hopefully he can find it really quick. Doing some quick back and forths, as I mentioned, in order to up your chance of finding it. And then now he's going to reset his repel and then start spinning like crazy. So Jielefe is opting to just rock back and forth. Not the fastest method, but probably the easiest on his hands. Oh, now he's going for a full spin. Oh, okay. Looks like he's struggling a little bit to get into the rhythm of it here. Okay, Galino's Gyarados is kind of cracked. So I just punched into all of Galino's stats here. Jielefe finding his Magikarp in a reasonable amount of time. You'll love to see it. So this is Galino's Gyarados' IVs for anyone watching at home. 1 to 2 HP, 29 to 30 attack, 29 to 30 minus defense, 5 to 6 plus special attack, perfect 31 defense, special defense, sorry, and 19 to 20 speed. That is a very cracked Gyarados. It was not a perfect Gyarados, but it's still a very, very good Gyarados. Jielefe react passing past that spinner. So I'm going to begin the rockets here. Nothing too crazy going on. A lot of the Pokemon are way lower level than us, so it is very easy to take care of it all. It's a nice, easy section for runners to take a break on their hands because the Gyarados hunt can be very damaging to your hands. You need a little time to recover. I know mine hurt really bad after hunting down the Gyarados. There's only a small handful of fights you have to deal with in Rocket. It's under 10, I think. Minus attack plus special attack for Jielefe. That's not great. I'm gonna plug in its IVs here real quick. So minimum HP, literally 0 HP. 29 to 31 minus attack. $27 to 28 defense. 29 plus special. 10 to 11 special defense and 103 speed. These are some very interesting Magikarps. Just looking at the IVs, these are all like insane. These are some wild Magikarps. So we'll see how our runners get to take advantage of each of them. The minus attack is definitely going to hurt Jielefe a lot. But because it's a high minus, it's not going to hurt as bad. But still not great. But our IVs here are not going to come into play for quite a while yet, so... Galino's going to be making his way to the executive now. Nothing crazy with the executive. You just surf everything. Alright, so... now that Galino's beaten the executive, the Murkrow is going to scream the password so that we can get into the last area here of Rocket HQ. So Galino's going to be entering a double fight here. Ariana's Arbok does have a chance to paralyze us with Glare if we don't kill it. We need to have a pretty good special attack in order to do that, however. Unfortunately, Galino's is not going to be good enough. So it is going to be a bit of a range here for him. So let's see if he ends up getting it here. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. Let's see if he winds up with the paralyze here. Hopefully he doesn't. And unfortunately, the glare did connect, so he's going to be paralyzed now, so he's going to have to heal that quick. You want to heal that right away. Dragonite is unfortunately not very helpful for us in this fight, unless he decides to use Thunder and finish off someone for us. You know, gonna strengthen the Gloom instead of opting to use Surf. Now he's gonna be poisoned by Grimer. He's gonna have to heal that now too. That's gonna be another extra little time lost there. So Jielefe is going to be able to pick up a little bit of time on Galino on that double fight because he has a plus 29 special attack, which means that the Arbok is guaranteed to die. So he won't have to heal a paralysis or poison, so that'll save him a little bit of time here. There is still a lot of time that Jielefe has to pick up, but a couple of optionals or spinners can very easily change things still. Or a really awkward fight. These Electrode, we have to kill them to progress the story, so we're just going to use Surf to wipe them all out. They all die to Surf without issue. And Surf is the shortest named move that we have. So we want to be optimal that way as well. Jielefe was some weird movement there. It looked like he was trying to go for a tweak or something. The movement was so out of pocket. Alright, now that we've taken care of the Electrode, we're all done here, so we can leave and we can go take on the 7th gym since we're right here. We do the gyms a little out of order, just because the gym is here and we're here, so it makes sense to do it now, especially with a overpowered level 50 Gyarados. It's also around the time when the bike shop calls us. It's not going to call him here. It's probably going to call him after the gym because his car punt was so good. Unfortunately, that crit does nothing for Jinx. Jinx is always a one-shot with strength. Little sliding gym puzzles here. For Galino, this Dugong is guaranteed. This Dugong sometimes likes to use rest turn 1, and if you don't kill it, it just goes right back up to full health. And I believe it also has sleep talk. So for Galino, that was no issue whatsoever. So Price can be a little bit of a troll here. His ace, which is a Dugong, takes 2 shots to kill. And this Dugong does have Aurora Beam, which is a 10% chance to drop your attack. And if it drops your attack, things get very, very interesting. It also has Rest as well. Rest, Sleep Talk, and Price will just heal if his Pokemon get low enough to be in heal range for him. So for Galino, because his attack is so good, he can use a Tackle followed by a Strength to guarantee Dugong. Back up if your attack is not good enough. Just use 2 strengths. Or risk the range. So Galino, now finishing up everything that there is doing Mahogany Town, is going to start heading west to Olivine to take care of both Jasmine and Chuck. Jielefe getting the call from the bike shop now. Galino's going to put up another repel here. Now we're going to get a forced conversation with the guy that runs the safari. And he's going to ask us for our number, which we have to say yes to. As we head towards the lighthouse here, there are going to be a couple of spinners that can be a bit of an issue to hit. The first spinner has 5 Pidgeys, and wiping out a team of 5 is a nightmare. Not because they're hard to take out, but because it just takes so long to get through them all. He is definitely not a spinner that you want to hit. The second one, there is a setup, so that if you do a very specific movement, once you kind of enter his area, that as long as he cooperates with where he's looking, you can get past with minimal time loss. I'm going to sit and wait for him, so we'll see if he cooperates, but he'll be a little bit farther down the line here. The scarier spinner, though, will be at the top of the ladder here once Galino is done with the sailor guy. This Poliwag is so weak, we can take it out with Flail. Flail is a move that does more damage the less HP we have. So being at near full HP for Galino, it's really not going to do much for us. Jielefe on Dugong now. Let's see what he opts. He's going to go for Tackle Strength. This is not guaranteed for him. Did not get the minus attack drop. And does manage to kill Dugong, so that is good. So Galino now is going to be passing this Bird Keeper here. This Bird Keeper has 5 Pidgeys, as I said before. So he's hopefully going to get past without any issue. Alright. Lost a little bit of time having to wait for him to turn around and whatnot, but that kind of stuff is out of your control. We're going to pick up a rare candy there to use on Gyarados in a little while. Here's the other spinner. He is going to not use a Manip movement for him. He's just going to do a regular spinner setup. Now Jielefe is going to be working his way out to Olivine now. So Jasmine's going to open the door for us now, so we don't have to go all the way back up later. We can just take the elevator once we've come back with the secret potion for her and everything. But now we'll be on our way off to Cianwood. We're going to be doing some surfing here. We get to actually enjoy the surfing music this time instead of listening to our thumbs bleed. Being safe on that spinner. I don't know if she can see you or how far away she can see you. But he just took it safe anyway. Gets down the Cianwood without hitting anybody. You love to see it. And he's going to be off into the gym. Movement in here is kind of tight. That guy that's walking back and forth there, if you make an error around him, he can see you. So you want to make sure that he doesn't see you. I think he only has one Pokemon if you hit him. But any optional fight that you take is not great. So now, with this gem puzzle, it is intended that you go up the right side now after you've moved the one guy, since he's moved to be in your way. But if we leave, we can reset him so that we can go up the left side, and he's the only one that we have to fight. So Galino also killing just a little bit of time there, getting past him on the way down because it just does not line up well. On the way down unless you kill like a little bit of time, like a tile or a second of walking, or just pause and wait, whatever you want. So he did it again there just to be safe. Now we're going to go on Chuck here. Chuck isn't too scary of a fight. He only has 2 Pokemon. The first one dies in one hit to either a Surf or a Strike. If you still have a Surf, you want to use it because it's less characters to use Surf than Strength. But if things don't go right, you end up having to use an extra strength. Jielefe getting past the first bird trainer without any issue. Love to see it. So Galino opting for strength there. That means he must be out of Surf PP. Not uncommon to see runners run out of surf early. Now he's going to be going for 2 strengths here to finish Polyrath. Polyrath does have both Hypnosis and Body Slam, which can paralyze. He went for neither, though. So that's very good for Polyrath. Or, well, for Galino, not for Polyrath. Polyrath died. Rest in peace. We're gonna get access to fly now that we've beaten Chuck's gym, which will be great because that means we can just fly wherever we want now that we visited anyway. We're also going to pick up the secret potion here for Ampharos so we can actually do Jasmine. And Galino's going to use an Ether that we picked up in Ilex on Gyarados' Surf now to restore some Surf PP for the next section that he's got to put up with here. He's also going to teach Fly to Kenya so he doesn't have to surf back to Olivine. And then that's going to be it for the menuing there. Going to head back now. Jielefe being really careful about his choice of movement here on the way. Making sure that he does not hit an optional if he can help it. Doing a bonk there, he's going to have to wait just a second. But he got past without an issue here. Coming back down is going to be a little interesting too. He's going to have to be careful of that. Alright, so Jasmine is now back in her gym, so we can go take care of her. Jielefe resetting the gym now. Bonked again, so he's going to have to be careful here. Another bonk. I'm gonna get a call from the Safari guy that the Safari Zone is available to use. We're gonna ignore him. There's no point going that far out of the way for anything that the Safari Zone has to offer. So Jasmine's gym doesn't actually have any trainers. What would be gym trainers respect us for taking care of Ampharos. They're just gonna say, you've proven your worth by going to take care of Ampharos, so we can just go take on Jasmine, no issue. Jasmine is not a very scary fight either. 3 surfs and she's done. So nothing too crazy there. There will be a little deviance in the path after Jasmine. Our next section here is going to be the radio tower when the rockets take it over and all that. And we're going to pick up a Mystic Water if our stats are bad enough in order to guarantee some ranges within radio tower. If we have really good special attack, we can wait until after radio tower, and waiting is ideal because we don't use a repel if we go before radio tower. Because those are the only set of tiles that we're going to have to worry about encounters in for a long time before and after. So there's just no point wasting repel in those steps, especially when repels are so tight at this point in the run. Both of our runners also likely used their last repel on the way to Cianwood. Or at least ideally, is when the last time you used your super potion. So Galino is just barely able to skip the Mystic Water. Jielefe can skip the Mystic Water too, because his special attack is so good. The Mystic Water is only needed to make Surf a little better. It will also make our last move Waterfall better down the line too. But we don't have Waterfall yet. We only have Surf. So grabbing this Mystic Water now is what will make Surf ranges a lot better in Radio Tower. Galino opting to go for it now though, and unfortunately does get punished with an encounter. Gyarados' ability Intimidate does lower the amount of chances you have to get an encounter in general. So the odds were even lower of hitting an encounter there. It is not unexpected, but just unfortunate that Galino hit an encounter there. Galino has had some really bad luck with encounters. Like, he's had so many wild encounters that you wouldn't expect him to hit. Not because of his fault either, just because of really bad luck. So Galino is beginning the Rocket Tower sequence here. After picking up the Mystic Water and using Rare Candy to level up Gyarados to, I believe it's 55. Even if you don't pick up the Mystic Water now, you do want to use the Rare Candy after Jasmine. It's just the best time to get that extra level in. So our rival is going to run up and break our disguise here. Now we're going to have to fight a bunch of Rocket Grunts all the way up the tower. Now Galino used a regular Ether to heal Gyarados. So for these fights, he's going to opt to use Strength instead of Surf. Back at the Lake of Rage, when we're handling Gyarados, if we did use an Ether on Kenya's Aerial Ace earlier, we can pick up a max Ether there to use as a backup for Gyarados' Surf. But since Galino didn't need to use the Ether on Aerial Ace, he was able to save it for Gyarados, so he just saved the time not only having to pick up the max Ether, but also giving the original Ether to Kenya. So it's a little bit of an optimization there that plays off in the long run there. So some tighter movement here in Radio Tower to be optimal. It's not the hardest movement in the world, but if you aren't aware where how far certain grunts can see and whatnot, you can lose a lot of time being extra safe with movement. But it is still better than accidentally hitting the Rocket Grunts, so. This scientist that Galino is passing right now tends to trick a lot of people up later on the way down. If you just blindly hold right coming off the stairs, you can hit him. He doesn't have anything very scary. He has a Porygon that dies to like 1 Strength or 1 Surf or something. So he's not too intimidating, but it is annoying to forget that he exists. Jielefe also opting to get the Mystic Water now. He could have saved a little bit of time down the road if he chose to get it after Radio Tower. But looks like he's choosing to play it on the safe side here. Fortunately for him, though, he does not get an encounter, so that'll save a little bit of time on Galino. He's still got quite a bit of catching up to do, but he is by no means out of this race. Any mistake for Galino can be huge for Jielefe for catching up. So Galino is wrapping up the first Rocket Executive here. He doesn't have anything scary. He just has 5 coughing and a wheezing. They all die to a surf as long as you picked up the Mystic Water or if you have really good special attack. So there's no need to worry there. So now he's going to give us the basement key so we have access to the second section. Unfortunately, talking to the executive a second time after picking up the key. A little bit of time lost there. But he did remember about the scientist and got away from him. So Galino is going to stop at the PC here and do a quick heal, not because Gyarados is low on HP or anything, because it's low on PP and we don't have any other PP restoring items. So we're just going to stop at the PC here for the free heal. Get all of our PP back for the second half of Radio Tower and the areas beyond here. So Galino is making his way into the basement section now as Jielefe is beginning the first area of Rocket Tower. Gonna have a quick rival fight here. Now that we have a level 55 Gyarados, or 56, somewhere in that neighborhood, it is very easy to take out rival now. So it'll be a lot of surfs, a couple of strengths here and there, maybe a tackle strength if for Alligator comes out last. Jielefe with some clean movement through the top floor there. Now on to the first executive. Alligator coming out second to last, so he'll just go for a couple strengths. A couple strengths is safer anyway. Tackle strength can be arranged depending on your attack. In Galino's case, it would be guaranteed. But the text difference between tackle and strength is so minor that it doesn't matter usually. Alright, so we have 3 rocket grunts to take care of in this underground area. None of them are particularly scary. Just a reminder for everyone, this is part of a Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver glitchless Manipless tournament. There is a matcherino where you can see or even contribute to the prize pool. The prize pool is community funded. You can even use some coupons for a free 25 cents off, especially if you're a new user to Matcherino. If you want to see the bracket at all or any other extra information about this tournament, you can do !HGSS to know more. And if you're ever interested about speedrunning this category, there's a very helpful community on the DS Pokemon Speedrunning Discord, where you can find plenty of resources, ask questions, find route guides that are very easy and simple to follow. You can find all the PSR Discords for their respective platforms on their respective speedrun.com page. So Galino finishing the underground area now, so he's going to head back up. Conveniently, that staircase brings us to the underneath of the shopping mall. So what we can do is we can head up to the third floor and start buying lots of goodies. So the third floor is where we can buy our X items, and anyone who's seen a Pokemon speedrun before knows that X items are heavily used in them. So we're going to pick up a ton of goodies here. We're going to pick up 11 X speeds, 5 X defends, 41 X attacks. We're also going to buy one X, well, he's going to buy 2 X special as safety. Usually only need 1. And then he's going to buy, looks like 6 X special defends. It's pretty blurry on my screen, so I can't see. So Galino opting for a little safer of a shopping loadout there. Buying an extra X special. He's also going to buy 3 escape ropes. And as many max repels as he can. So Galino is playing on Soul Silver, which means he needs to buy a couple extra escape ropes compared to Heart Gold. Although I believe you only need 2. Usually. There are some cases where you might want 3. Alright, so Galino is starting the last section here of Radio Tower. This will be another, I believe it's 5 fights. Yeah, he's got 5 more fights before he finishes Rocket, not Rocket, but Radio Tower. Jielefe, almost to the underground section here. Just got a couple Gloom to strengthen and some Coughing to Surf right before the Director. And then he'll go off and do his shopping. Definitely one of the slower sections of the run, if you couldn't already tell. A lot of exciting things that happen in Radio Tower. Given we're so overleveled, it just ends up being a gauntlet of fights. So Jielefe is doing his shopping now, stocking up on all of our useful X items like I mentioned earlier. Ariana's Vile Plume only going for a sweet scent, which is good. This Vile Plume can be a bit of a troll. So it just setting up a sweet set is fine. Alright, so now we're on to the last fight of Radio Tower for Galino here. Archer is not very intimidating. He only has 3 Pokemon, and 2 of them are a Houndour and a Houndoom. And then the last is a Weezing, so not a very intimidating executive at all. Now at the end of the Radio Tower, we'll just run out of Surf PP. We don't need Surf for the rest of the time until we have to heal, so it's ideal that we burn off all our Surfs here. Alright, and that's Radio Tower for Galino. That crit did not matter, unfortunately. Right, so now we can head off towards the 8th gym. This is the point where we need to start thinking a little bit ahead in regards to Gyarados' speed. Fortunately for both of our runners, Gyarados' speed is good enough that they don't need to think about anything. But if they had bad speed, they could consider picking up a Carbos if it's within reason in order to outspeed some certain pokes, or if they are very slow, they just kind of have to put up with it and tank some hits later that are very scary to tank. So Galino's going to pick up a safety elixir here, just in case he uses the wrong move or anything and needs to restore PP, because PP could get pretty tight in this run. And now he's going to start using his max elixir or max repels here. He's going to try and optimize his movement in here as much as he can while on the bike. Vileplume being nice to Jielefe. Now we just picked up Waterfall. We're going to teach it to Gyarados on the next repel menu here. I'll try to combine our menus as much as possible. So his opening the bag is slow. A little bit of a strength puzzle here. We want to push this boulder into the hole just above us here. Don't want to fall down any of the holes because it resets our progress. We just want to be careful of how we maneuver in here. And then he's going to go for the staircase to be more efficient. Some runners will drop down the hole too. It just depends on your repel. Now he's going to teach Waterfall over Tackle in order to complete his moveset for the rest of the run. So Gyarados will have Surf, Waterfall, Flail, and Strength to take care of everything that's in its way for the rest of the run here. Galino is also going to take the time to teach Whirlpool to center it now. We got Whirlpool quite a while ago, but we're going to start needing it here shortly, so now is the time that he's going to bother to teach Whirlpool. You could teach Whirlpool at any time in the run if you want. I personally like to do it in Cianwood, just so I don't forget later. Because when I started doing this run, that's when the notes told me to. But now I use an updated version of the notes that tell me to Whirlpool much later. But I still Whirlpool at Cianwood just to keep the muscle memory there so I don't forget it. So Galino is going to be wrapping up Icy Path here as Jielefe is going to be starting to head to Icy Path. Still got a couple minutes of difference between our runners here, but that could change pretty easily if anything goes wrong for Galino. So we're going to talk to this guy because it's faster than having him come to us and tell us all about the gym puzzle and whatnot. So this guy is a bit of a troll to get past. Galino is going to opt to just do some really simple basic spinner passes. You can do on him what is called a run manip. If you run for if you are 2 tiles away from him, like you would on a normal setup, and you run left 1 tile and then walk past him, he cannot spin quick enough to see you. It is a pretty advanced strategy. It is very likely to fail if you aren't well practiced at it. So Galino just opted to take it safe, and it didn't really cost him a ton of time either, so... In a race setting with a lead, it's not worth trying to go for risks. Now, this spinner is deaf, so you could just react past run by him. Galino is going to take it safe, though. He's going to wait for the spinner to spin again like that. Very scary pass. That looked very scary to me. But he got past without any issues. That's what that matters. So Galino got through Blackthorn Gym without hitting any spinners. You love to see it. Hitting spinners in here can be very, very annoying. Now, on Claire Claire's going to be the first gym leader that we use flail strats on. So flail, as I mentioned earlier, is a move that does more damage the less HP you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a combination of X attacks while Claire's Gyarados uses Dragon Rage on us in order to get her HP low enough to get a really good flail. So Gyarados uses Dragon Rage, which always does 40. Left over, Galino is going to have 18 HP, which I'm not sure is enough to have a good flail HP. So he's going to use an Oran Berry to go up 10 HP. So now he will wind up with 8 HP, and that should guarantee him flail 150. So I was going to set up one more X attack. He used the flail turn 1 because it wouldn't be worth using the extra X attack. Now he's going to be able to go with flail since he has 2 X attacks and is in flail 150. That's the minimum amount of X attacks he needs. So he didn't end up wasting any. You do buy more than enough X attacks to where you could just spam X attacks and then just wait until your HP is low enough-ish to go. But it's not ideal. You never know when things go bad later down the line and you wind up really short on X attacks. It's going to be conservative where you can. And now that he has Flail at base 150 HP, or base power, while also being +2, he can just use Flail to sweep all of Claire's team in one shot. Jielefe also going for the safe spinner pass here in the gym. Took about the same time as Galino's, so he'll be able to catch up a little bit of time as long as the next spinner doesn't be an issue for him. So a little bit of an optimization here. We're going to get on the bike, even though we only have to go so few tiles before we get on the water. There's a little bit of an animation that happens if you use Surf and the Pokemon that's walking with you knows Surf. So this game likes to have the Pokemon in the front of your party use the HM if it is one of many that know the same HM. Because we still have Sentret, but because Gyarados is in the front of our party, Gyarados is going to be the one that uses Surf. And when it is the lead of our party using that HM, it's going to have the tendency to play like a little animation where it like jumps around excitedly and then hops in the water. So getting on the bike, so we don't have him following me, it's a little faster. Jielefe had a really interesting pass there because his repel ended on the frame that on the tile, sorry, that was in the Ace Trainer's line of sight. Very interesting thing to see, but thankfully he got past it without an issue. It didn't end up hurting him. It was very weird to see, though. So the one fight that we have to do in Dragon's Den, since our HP is already so low from Claire, we could just use Flail. Sorry, we don't need to set up anything. Flail just does enough to take out that Dragonair. Now we're gonna have the second quiz. The second quiz has all the same answers as the quiz back in Goldenrod for the radio card. So as long as you have one memorized, you have both. Even though this has 3 options and the one has 2, if you just answer the same 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, you just get past the quiz, no issue. Claire's going to come in a huff because we passed the test and is finally going to give us the badge, so now we can go on and take care of the next part, which will be the legendary of the game. This will kind of be the first part of the game where there are version differences. It won't be for a little bit yet, because we still have a couple of fights before that happens. But I may as well start explaining them now. So in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which legendary you get first is obviously the box legendary. So if you're playing on Soul Silver, it's Lugia. Heart Gold, it's Ho-Oh. Once you actually go to summon them, though, there's different pros and cons to which one you go to. Soul Silver is faster in most cases. Most categories will opt to play Soul Silver because going to World Islands is surprisingly faster than going to Bell Tower. Bell Tower is such a long dungeon to get through, whereas World Islands is not nearly as bad, even though you have to fly and surf a little ways. It still ends up being faster. But there are a couple of other issues that come into play when doing this category specifically. On Heart Gold, in the Bell Tower, there is a max revive that is very easy to pick up because it's on the way. Soul Silver does not have an equivalent, and we're going to need some max revives for the final fight. So we pick up, I believe, in Soul Silver, you typically pick up a max revive in Victory Road instead of Bell Tower, since you don't go to Bell Tower before beating Elite Four and all that. Another thing is that Ho-Oh is slower than Lugia, and if you have a really bad Gyarados and you're up against a really fast Ho-Oh, or Lugia, sorry, there is a chance that you don't get away. Whereas with Ho-Oh, it's much less likely to happen, if at all. With that in mind, though, there's a lot of other RNG factors at play in the run, such that you can run either version. There have been plenty of races won on Soul Silver and Heart Gold. That's the only real major difference in this run between the two, so there's nothing to really worry about there. So now Galino is going to be beginning the Kimono Girl fights. There's going to be a series of 5 fights in a row with all of the main evolutions up to Gen 2. So Glaceon and Leafeon will not be making an appearance, unfortunately. This Umbreon has Confuse Ray, which can be a bit trolly, but it opted to use Dark Pulse instead, which is good. Next one is an Espeon, and the Espeon can outspeed us if we have really bad, like, bottom of the barrel speed. Neither of our runners have to worry about that, though. It is like a very, very rare case that we have to have Espeon go first. Third one is Flareon here. Flareon does have Quick Attack that can deal a little bit of damage to us. Usually not enough to worry about it, though. This Jolteon can be a real pain if you're really slow. This is the one big poke that we battle where speed matters. This Jolteon does have Thunderbolt, which can do a ton of damage to us. But being faster than it means that we can just wipe the floor with it right away as long as we click the right move. We could become faster than Jolteon by picking up a Carbos in Ice Path. If we were just barely too slow. However, if you're too slow, then you just have to tank the Thunderbolt. If you do have to tank a Thunderbolt, though, you can get a good flail out of it. You can use flail instead of strength at some points in order to save time in the next section. Just to make up for having to take damage from Flareon. But is not all the time that you get to take advantage of that, unfortunately. Now we're going to trigger the legendary sequence here now that Galino has beaten the Kimono Girls. So he's going to be flying off to the Whirl Islands from Cianwood in order to do all the Lugia stuff. So he's going to hop onto the water as low as he can just to be efficient since surfing is slower than biking. And just some careful movement here to make sure we don't run into any optionals. Trying to stay on the water because you do need to stay on the water all the way to the cave entrance. But the movement there gets really tight. Oh, just some movement in the dark here. It's not too bad. I don't know what it's like because I play Heart Gold, but it doesn't look like it's too difficult a movement. And just like that, he is at the stage that lets him head down to Lugia here. Pretty clean movement there, I'd say. And now this is the one bathroom break that runners get in the run. So as soon as the bell comes up and the cutscene begins, some runners opt to race to the bathroom in order to get their one opportunity to use the bathroom in this pretty long run. This run being up to 4 hours or sometimes longer if you're unlucky can ruin some people's bladders. I believe Lugia's cutscene is longer than Ho-Oh's. I think. I could be wrong, though. One of their cutscenes is a little longer, so playing one version gives you a little longer of a bathroom break if you need it. This is also the point in the run where you can tell if someone's playing an emulator or not, because emulator does not do that cutscene very well. Or at least some emulators. I haven't really paid attention to what version Jielefe is playing, so we'll see here. I'm pretty sure Galino is on hardware, though. I'm like 90% sure of that. Okay, so Jielefe is playing on Heart Gold, so he's gonna be able to pick up just a little bit of time here, I think. It'll be subtle, but... Let's hope Galino gets the turn 1 run here. Alright, and he does. I didn't have much of a doubt there. He's got pretty good speed, so... So now he's going to use an escape rope to get out, and then he's going to immediately fly to New Bark Town and work his way out towards Victory Road. Jielefe is going through the feather check now. So Galino, not knowing that he's taken his first steps into Kanto. This is the one place where waterfall is needed in the run. It's the game's way of making sure that we got all 8 gym badges. Even though in any percent we can skip that. Galino getting swag waterfall. He's my favorite to win now. Hopped on the bike again in order to skip the Gyarados hopping around cutscene. He's gonna come up onto the grass up there because the spinner can't see you from way up there. He's gonna stall a little bit for this psychic that spins around. Gonna be really careful. Gonna opt to surf around this lady. You can do a spinner setup on her if you want, but sometimes it is faster to just go for surf, and that's what Galino opted to do. Now this spinner is not deaf, so you can do just a basic spinner setup. You can't do anything fancy with running though. He will look at you. Alright, and now he's just got a couple fights on the way up to Victory Road. Jielefe is getting to the top of Bell Tower now. So he's going to have a bathroom break opportunity here if he chooses. Galino getting some fine movement to the second ace trainer. That movement can be pretty difficult. The fight that Galino's on, you may X attack if you have a really bad attack. But Galino has such good attack that he doesn't need to worry about it. All right, so now Galino has passed all 3 of the big trainers here. He's going to be going through Victory Road. There are no trainers in Victory Road on this version, so it's all just down to movement getting through. We got the classic, definitely legitimate badge check here. Jielefe also opting to surf. Got a near instant pass. That's super nice. We'll have saved a little bit of time on Galino there. Sometimes you just get really lucky on these spinner passes and you just slowly catch up time, so. Alright, last movement here in Victory Road can be a little scary if you're not paying attention. That hole there can trip you up sometimes. Gonna pick up the rare candy though, and then we'll be on to the last rival fight. We're not gonna see a rival again after this. So, last rival fight here. Still not very scary, just a lot of surfs and strengths here. Got a waterfall, the Golbat surf is usually not good enough to take care of it. You need almost perfect special attack with a plus nature in order to be able to use surf on Golbat, which is not very likely to be the case. Even with Jielefe's really good Gyarados, it's still a range. He's 1 IB off of it being guaranteed. So it's probably a very favorable range, but one he probably won't bother to go for yet. Alright, so we're going to pick up another rare candy here, just outside of Victory Road. Interesting how there are two so close to each other. Now we're going to dump our Quilava and Sentra in the box. We don't need them for the Elite Four. All they do is add time to the Hall of Fame cutscene. They contribute in pretty much no other way, so... And then we're also going to pick up full restores now that we can actually buy them. And then we'll also, before we forget, we're going to put 2 rare candies onto Gyarados to be level 62. That is a pretty important step. If you forget, you can do the rare candies after Koga, the second fight. If you forget beyond then, good luck. I don't know what's going to be an issue for you, but I hope you're the best when that happens. The will is not anything particularly special here. We're just going to set up a handful of X attacks and then go for strength. This Zatu can confuse us, but we will use the full heal from Ilex Forest to heal it, or a full restore if we want to be extra safe. Ideally, we want to take some damage during the Elite Four, leading up to Lance. Lance will be the one fight here that we go all out with Flail. So the less HP we go into Lance with, the less setup we need. So Galino, unfortunately, having to set up for strength here. It's pretty typical that you have to strength will as long as you PC heal in the Elite Four. There are some strategies that will omit healing at the Elite Four, but you have to commit to it as early as Radio Tower. And your PP gets really tight, so... Alright, so Galino is wrapping up Will here as Jielefe has only 2 pokes for Rival to go here. Jielefe has consistently been like about 4 to 5 minutes away from Galino here. And not a lot of window for him to catch up at all. Galino has gone with very few mistakes this run. This fortress has a very, very, very small chance of using Explosion. Instead, it'll just fail to use Protect, and then succeed using Protect, and then fail using Protect, so that Galino can actually kill. So there is a wasted turn there from Fortress being a troll. Little opportunity for Jielefe to catch up. Not a very big opportunity. And not much time to gain off it either. Jielefe is opting to stock up on full heals here, just to be able to take care of any status conditions that come his way instead of buying as many full restores as he can. I don't knock him. I've been paralyzed many a times in one fight. I agree, Grizz. This was a really fun gen to play. This was my first experience in Gen 2. I found it really fun that this game had 2 regions. I played this game a lot as a kid. We're coming up to Bruno here. The safe play is to X attack turn 1. Otherwise, you could probably skip the X attack here. Yeah, Galino could skip the X attack here if he wants. And it looks like he is. So the deal here is that he needs to be able to tank Hitmontop's quick attack as well as Machamp's rock slide here. Actually, he doesn't need to tank a rock slide because he just wins. Never mind. So Galino's Gyarados is just cracked. End of story. Gen 4 and Gen 5 definitely were the best Pokemon era in my opinion. Definitely wasn't because I started on Gen 4. Of course, as a reminder, this is part of a ongoing tournament amongst the DS Pokemon speedrunning community. This is a Heart Gold Soul Silver glitchless Manipless tournament, which means that there's no RNG manipulation or glitches used whatsoever. This is a very easy pick up and play category, really fun for racing with your friends. Lots of good guides out there for how to complete this in a very respectable time. If you're interested in learning more, you can do !HGSS in chat in order to learn more. You can see things such as bracket standings. I believe you can also see the Matcherino for if you want to donate to the prize pool for these talented runners. Correct. So Flail is a move that does more damage the less HP you have. We want to get our Flail base power at either 150 or 200, and that is when we are very, very low on health. In Galino's case, it would be about less than 15 HP, I think, to have Flail 150. This category in particular is part of the Heart Gold Soul Silver category extensions. Starter does matter. In the beginning of the run, we pick up a Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is just the best for dealing with the early game fights, especially with its typing against Bugsy. It's also really good in Sprout Tower because of all the Bellsprout that we have to go through, as well as the Rival 2 fight, when dealing with Croconaw is a lot easier to handle because Croconaw likes to spam Scary Face. So we can set up on it a lot easier. The early part of this run is definitely the definitely the trickiest, and the one that'll take a while for newer runners to get down. The other nice part about this is that any Cyndaquil or Gyarados that you obtain is runnable. So it doesn't matter what their stats are. You can still complete the run. Just some stats you care about more than others for certain strategies or to make things a little easier for you. But Galino is going to be starting Lance here. So Lance is going to be another Flail setup. We do need to set up an X speed here first. We need the X speed to make sure that we outspeed, I believe it's Aerodactyl. So Galino being as low health as he is, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles this. So he needs the X speed, which he got off already. Now he's going to need 2 X attacks. Gyarados usually does about 15 HP. Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going to happen. I don't know if Gyarados would kill there. It has both Ice Fang and I believe Dragon Pulse. It also has Waterfall. I did not know that. So he just healed up just a little bit so that he doesn't lose his health progress that he's made. If he sets up one more X attack here, he should be good to sweep, I believe. Yes. So I'm not sure if that's Flail 100 or Flail 150. Let me double check here. Let me pull up a little something rather. Okay, so he is at the threshold for Flail 150. And I do not know if that is going to matter or not. I think he's got enough X attacks that it doesn't matter. The tricky part about Lance is as soon as you kill Gyarados, you get a level up. So even if you are in Flail, like say you're in Flail 200 range and you have 5 HP, when you level up, you might gain 3 HP from the level up, and then you fall out of Flail 200 into 150, and that's something you really have to be conscious of. Looks like Jielefe accidentally took a death on Hitmonchan here, but he's got revives, so he should just be able to revive Gyarados and be fine. Looks like in chat he says he forgot an X attack, which must have meant something was arranged and didn't work out well for him. Fearow is a backup for the Elite Four in case something goes weird. It also has mail on it because it is the Spearow that you get from the Goldenrod gate from the guy. and it's holding mail. So to put it in the PC, you have to get rid of the mail. So it's kind of a hassle to put it in the PC to heal. And also, we need a way to fly out of Newburgh Town once we beat the Elite Four because there's no PC there at all. So that's why we choose to hold on to Firo for the Elite Four here. All right, so Jielefe got through Bruno without much of an issue. Got a little scary there in the middle, but he managed to pull through. So Galino getting a sub 250 on Lance. That's setting up pretty well for a sub 4-hour race time here overall. Takes about an hour to get through Kanto as long as everything goes well. So he should be set pretty well for like a mid 350s time through red here. All right, so Galino's holding soft reset here in order to reset the game as soon as it's done saving. The game will not soft reset while it's saving. You just don't want to go too quick, though. Otherwise, you lose all your progress because you don't save up until this point, usually. Most fights are safe enough to where you don't need to safety save at any point in this run. At least as soon as you're comfortable with the run. Runners starting out might save at some common places like Faulkner, Bugsy, or Lance. But most fights usually are not worth saving for. The only time we will intentionally save is for red. Because if we lose the stuff that we have grabbed throughout the run to be able to handle red, things get really sketchy really quick. Or we have to go out of our way to find the new stuff. All right, so now we beat Neely 4, we're going to head our way out to Kanto. We're going to take the SSN because that's the only way we're allowed into Kanto currently. Looks like Jielefe is going to get foiled 200 off of Gyarados. Hopefully he's got the X attack set up so that everything is peachy keen for him. All right, so we just got a couple of little quests here on the SSN. We got a quick fight with a sailor that's slacking off. Fell asleep on the job and needs to be woken up. Then we got to play hide and seek with a little girl who's annoying the captain. So Jielefe getting through to Lance without an issue here. Charizard will go down to a flail, no problem. So Jielefe could still sneak out a 4-hour, I think, or a sub 4. It's going to be close, though. He's going to have a pretty near perfect Kanto, I think. And he's estimating he lost about a minute to Galino, or in general, for his Elite Four. So playing hide and seek with the little girl here. We get the metal coat, which is not very useful to us. But now we're heading into Vermilion here. So we are going to pull up the menu right away and fly to Vermilion. Despite already being in Vermilion, it is much faster to fly than go through the gates and then bike through town. I'm going to YOLO those 3 tiles of grass because those are the only encounter grass that you're going to see for a very long time. And Galino got through without an issue. I'm going to be starting the gym here. There's a little bit of a spinner setup if you can turn in menu right away. Galino is just going to play it safe, though. Didn't quite get the menu pulled up there. There he goes. So we went for a safe pass there. You can look up in menu right away coming off the teleporter in order to kind of set up for her. You can also do a run manip here, like I mentioned earlier, where you run for 1 tile and you can walk past her. So unfortunately, I had lost a little bit of time waiting for the second spinner, or the first one, sorry. But otherwise, pretty solid through the gym overall. Taking things nice and safe. So Sabrina's not a very scary fight. You just set up 1x speed, and then you can just sweep the team with Waterfall. A lot of the early gym leaders that we take on here are low enough level that we don't need to worry about much at all. We are gonna take a little bit different of an order than what Heart Gold Soul Silver kind of set up for us to take, though. I believe it is intended that you take Surge on right away, then go to Sabrina. But to make things safer, we opt to take care of a couple other things first before we take on Surge. Being an electric type leader, things can get very scary for Gyarados being a water flying type. So now we're going to head north to Cerulean. And there's going to be a bit of downtime before we fight Misty. We're going to have to do a little bit of a side quest with the power plant. So tucked away way off on the east side of the region here, there is a power plant, and when we go there and talk to the plant manager, he complains about someone stealing a machine part off of him. So we have to go and find the person that took the machine part. So Jielefe is working through the SSN now as Galino is in that power plant. All right, so we go into the Cerulean Gem. We find the guy that took the machine part. Now I need to go hunt him down. He heads north of Cerulean, which is conveniently where we need to go in order to unlock Misty. So going off to the power plant before doing all the Misty stuff is the most efficient way to handle this section. Alright, so Jielefe is starting Sabrina now, same deal, just an X speed and then sweep with waterfall. Nothing special there. Galino taking care of the Rocket Grunt. Now he's gonna have to take care of 6 trainers on the way to Misty here, like the Nugget Bridge kids or whatever. Yeah, they've migrated north since Gen 3. So there's not a lot of scary trainers on this route. There will be a double fight. I can get a little hairy, but otherwise, relatively simple stuff here. A lot of the trainers in Kanto are a lot lower level than you still, so. Galino is still holding quite a few minutes, bit of lead here. This can change very easily if Galino has a bad red, however. there's still a good chance for Jielefe to catch up. Galino up against a Nido King, you can pretty much guess how that goes. All right, here's a double fight that can get a little hairy. You don't really want Kenya to take damage here. Kenya can be useful for some strategies on red. And on top of that, if we do have to heal Kenya, we have to take the mail off, which can be a bit of a pain if you're not used to the menuing it takes to take off the mail. Unfortunately, Kenya getting poisoned there, which means he'll likely have to consider putting Kenya in the PC and healing it. Alright, Galino has to take care of this Blossom immediately. You want to double target the Blossom because Gyarados cannot always kill. Thank you for the raid, and welcome to the Heart Gold and Soul Silver Glitchless Manipless tournament match here that we got going on. If you want to learn more about the tournament, we do have a prize pool that you can contribute to and use your coupons as linked in chat. You can also learn more about the bracket, the runners, the commentator, Pokemon speedrunning in general, all that stuff. And welcome everyone from SpeedGaming 3. All right, so Galino's going to be activating Misty here. Gonna take Kenya and fly back to Cerulean. Looks like he healed the paralysis on Kenya at some point. I don't know if he's gonna PC heal him at all. He chose to fly back to Cerulean, but he didn't take the mail off. Alright. Movement through Misty's gym here is a little bit precise. It's not too bad, though. You can do a little bit of movement manip in order to maneuver to the right area, or to pass through all the trainers at the right time without having to worry about it. But you can also just watch for when the first girl is in a specific spot to jump on the water, or just try and pass her. As long as you bonk the first trainer as she's moving left, you can get through it without much of an issue. But Misty is another fight here that we're going to try and set up Flail on. Unfortunately, Golduck is a bit of a troll and doesn't like to attack very often, and our HP is really high. So it usually just ends up with us defaulting to using Strength instead. But we do need to spend one more turn setting up an X attack as well to make sure that we're faster. And welcome everybody from SpeedGaming too. To reiterate, this is a tournament match for our Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Manipless, glitchless tournament between Galino and Jielefe and Afonso, who unfortunately has forfeit. If you want to learn more about the tournament itself, you can do !HGSS to find some very helpful links. We do have a Matcherino tournament that is open to donations as well if you want to help contribute to the prize pool of our wonderful runners. All of the money will go to Robentus's bank account after sweeping the tournament. Going 2-0 so far. So as you can see, Galino got strength strats set up here. Not a big deal. It's kind of expected to have to use strength on Misty. The only case that we really get to use Flail on Misty with this route is if we were slower than Misty, or slower than Sabrina's team and got hit. But that's if you don't need max speed. Anyway, Galino is going to return the power plant part now after finding it in Misty's gym. The plant head is going to give us Charge Beam. Jielefe is going to check out the strong, formidable tree that looks like it could be headbutted. All right, now Galino is going to head his way into Rock Tunnel, otherwise known as Bonkopolis, because you will bonk into everything. One. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 was undeserved. 11, 12. That's pretty good. 12 ain't bad. 13. All right, so this is the one heal that we're going to do in Kanto here. We're just going to PC heal Gyarados real quick and then pull out both Quilava and Sentret. They will be necessary for various strategies on red, depending on a couple of factors that we don't know yet. We're also going to pick up the expanded radio card here. This is necessary in order to get to the in order to get one more Pokemon that we need, as well as easy access to the western part of Kanto. But now it's time for everyone's favorite trash cans. So once you find a switch, there is anywhere between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 chance of finding the second one, depending on where you find it. Galino finds the first one right away, but unfortunately does not find the second one, so he's going to have to start fresh. So there's unfortunately not much you can do here other than run around and hope you find them. This is the last great equalizer here before red. And it looks like Galino found it second try, but it was a very late second try. So not a huge window, but there's a little bit of room for Jielefe to catch up here if he gets a really good trash can, so you can definitely catch up from that. You can pick up like not a minute, but like 30 seconds or something. Surge could be a bit of a troll here because we have to use Waterfall to take out everything. Surf just does not do the job here. But Waterfall is a contact move, and everyone on Galino's team except for Magneton has static. So it is very likely to get paralyzed at some point during this battle here. We also need to get an X speed at some point in order to outspeed the Electrodes here. So because Galino did not get paralyzed yet, he's going to do it now. And hopefully Electrode doesn't go for something super trolly. It looks like he went for double team, but he got through it anyway. I'm kind of jealous. But unfortunately, he is going to get paralyzed, and he is going to have to heal that right away. It is not worth trying to hit through that, especially because since paralysis cuts your speed, that Electrode is now faster, even with the X attack. Or the X speed, sorry. Pretty easy to tank a hit from Electrode here, so we don't have to worry about that. This Electabuzz is what can really do damage to us, especially if we're paralyzed. So Surge getting through it without any issue, or Galino getting through Surge without any issue. Jielefe is going to begin his way to Bonk Tunnel here. So Galino is going to head towards Diglett's Tunnel, and he is going to awaken the Snorlax. And when he wakes up the Snorlax, he's going to catch it with a Master Ball. This Snorlax will be very useful for the red fight at the very end of the run here. And Snorlax's stats do matter. So hopefully Galino gets some good stats on his gear or on his Snorlax here. But in the meantime, he's going to turn on the Poke Flute. He's going to use a Max Repel now so he doesn't forget, and then he's going to trigger the battle with Snorlax and catch it. I didn't catch the beginning of Rock Tunnel, but I've counted 2 bonks for Jielefe. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, clean exit. I only got to see him do 8, 9, 10. Alright, so he's going to be PC healing now. Galino making his way through Diglett's Tunnel. He's going to pick up this Max Revive here. This will be the second Max Revive that we pick up of the run. Usually. I don't know if Galino has the second or not yet. I haven't been paying too much attention to his inventory. He is playing Soul Silver, so he didn't pick up the one in Bell Tower. I just don't know if he's picked up a second one yet or not, or where he intends on doing so. All right, well, our next fight here is Brock. Brock isn't anything too special, but we do need to set up our single X special on Amistar. Now, Amistar can be a bit of a troll because it has Ancient Power, and Ancient Power does a lot of damage to us. It does about half, usually. Jielefe at trash cans now. Uh-oh. We didn't get him first try. Alright, he found the first. Oh. He is not getting very lucky. Oh no! Oh no, he walked into a very bad tile. So he's gonna have to take these two on as a double fight, and I think combined they have 6 pokes. Yeah. So this is very bad for Jielefe. Galino, meanwhile, getting through Brock without much of an issue here. This is going to be very tough for Jielefe to get through this fight. I think he's thinking about forfeiting. He has not opted to forfeit yet on... Oh, now he has. Alright, he has opted to forfeit, unfortunately for him. Man, this is the second commentary that I've had where 2 people DQ. I am just not lucky. If you see me commentate your runs, expect the worst, apparently. Alright, so Galino is going to be making his way to Blaine now. Yes, apparently I am the worst luck charm ever. I don't even know if there's been another race that's had a forfeit other than the ones that I've commentated. Alright, so Galino making his way to Blaine now. Really scary fight coming up here. Up against God himself, the doof. Alright, nothing too scary here in Blaine's gym. You can pretty much get away with surfing everything. Oh, was there another forfeit earlier today? I haven't looked at race time to see. Oh yeah, Tucker's race had a DNF. I'm not sure. He was in second, wasn't he? Wasn't Bonji or however you pronounce it? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce his Twitch handle. But I thought he was in second for a while. So yeah, it is. There has been another DNF today. Or maybe I was thinking about Rubentus's run. I'm not sure. Died twice to blue. Oh yeah, that'll do her. Blue is a very ugly fight. The tiniest thing can go wrong, and then it's just awful to come back from it. So, Blaine here won't be too big of an issue. He can get away with 3 strips here. Can have no problem. He is not faster than Rapidash, though. Rapidash can be a little bit of a troll because it has bounce. So not only does it waste a turn because it'll spring up in the air before you get to attack, but it also has a chance to paralyze you when it comes down. Opted for Flare Blitz instead, though, which is nice. So he's got a very interesting HP setup here going into Erica. I wonder how Galino is going to take advantage of it here. Galino has a guaranteed victory as long as he finishes the race at this point. So I don't know if he's gonna play a little riskier now just to go for like a race PB or something, or if he's just gonna play it safe and get her done and over with. We'll see if he decides to try to put on a show for us with Erica here. It is possible for him to PB. All right, so maybe he'll go for it then. We'll see. The issue with Erica here, though, is that her lead Jumpluff knows both Leech Seed and Sunny Day. Leech Seed will sap 1/8 of our health as long as there's an enemy alive at the end of the turn. And Sunny Day is particularly bad because everyone on Erica's team gets their speed doubled in the sun. So unfortunately, he is going to have to set up at least one X attack here. Hopefully, we would see like a Giga Drain out of Jumpluff. We don't want to see Leech Seed or Sunny Day in this case. All right. Fingers crossed here. Gonna get that X attack in there. Sunny Day. Unfortunate. He is gonna go for the X speed though. He's gonna try and get away with it. Giga Drain. 30 HP. 2 X speeds. I don't think 2 is necessary. And he got a crit. Oh, that sucks. Wow, I'm just bad luck for Erica, too. Wow, I'm just horrible luck for Erica and for people forfeiting. Did he use U-turn to set up on Tangela? I missed that. I think he used U-turn. Or some kind of retreating move for Tangela. Tangela, you can set up on, but Tangela is also tricky because it can Omni Boost. Like that. I'm getting flashbacks. I don't like this. Going for the full restore here to be safe because Tangle is boosted. He's gonna use another ancient power. Okay, didn't get the second Omni. Sleep powder is fine. Going for strength stretch here. Let's see. Tangle is the bulkiest on the team. Doesn't kill. Gets put back to sleep. I'm gonna go for another X attack. As Erica goes for the heal here. Okay, at least no second Omni boost. Tangela is still alive and got put him back to sleep. Gonna set up another X attack out of frustration. Another ancient power. And a second Omni boost. That's not great. Okay, didn't get a third Omni boost. He's gonna go for a flail while it's at low health. Put back to sleep, so he's got to use an awakening to wake it up. Ring out isn't gonna do a ton. And put back to sleep. Oh my god. Right, I was gonna set up an X speed to try to get faster than Tangle after all the Omni boosts. Gonna fully restore this. Galino says worst fight of his life. Tell him I'm sorry for commentating your match and cursing Nasanya. The last match I commentated also had a god-awful Erica. They actually forfeited on Erica because they killed him. Poor Minnow. And poor Galino. All right, finally through Erica. Phew. That Tangela was something else though with that sleep powder. Let me tell you. It was deja vu, yeah. Well, Toss, if I commentate that match, if I was willing to wake up that early in the morning to commentate, I'm not. I would curse them to the point where 2 of them would forfeit and 1 would have a really bad Erica. And I don't want to do that to the poor racers. They're already racing really early in the morning. At least US early in the morning. I don't think any of them are US. Galino playing it safe on the biker there. He has 3 pokes, and you don't really want to hit him. Especially with all the time he's already lost putting up with Erica. It's just unfortunate that it took a while to for him to spin. Now on to Janine. With Janine, he can skip using the X attack and guarantee the wheezing, which I'm sure he'll do. The scrollback can be a bit of a troll with confusion if you have to set up on it. Galino does not. Screech, that's fine. Nothing really gets an opportunity to attack us anyway. So as long as we didn't get confused turn 1, we're good. Alright, so we got through the wheezing, no issue, so the rest of the fight is guaranteed. Alright, so Galino is going to heal here. He's going to use an elixir that we picked up earlier to restore his PP. And he's also going to full restore Gyarados here so that he's full health for the next fight. The last 2 fights here, the run, are coming up and they're the most brutal. So we want to make sure that Gyarados is as well equipped to handle that fight as possible. Which usually just means give it an elixir and heal it to full. So quick trip to Cinnabar to activate blue here, and then we'll run off to the gym itself. talk to the guy so he doesn't come to us. And then fairly simple movement through here. You start on the way right, and then you go left, up, and then one up, one left. Or one right, sorry. And you just hold right. Very simple gym puzzle, once you get the hang of it. It just looks a lot to process at first. Alright, so blue leads with an Executor that likes to spam Trick Room. We want to make sure that we're all set up before the end of Trick Room, and we don't want to start sweeping while Trick Room is up. So ideally, we want Executor to try to put us to sleep. It did, but it did it on turn 1. Leaf Storm turn 2. That's still not great. We really want to see Trick Room at some point here. Okay, so in for Trick Room turn 3. So Galino's going to have time to set up to +5 without an issue, but he does need to be able to line up his full restore here with the end of Trick Room. Otherwise, there might be some issues here. So there's not much that Executor can do right now other than spam Leaf Storm. He's going to try and tank one more. Let's see if it works out for him. Alright, he tanked it. So now he's going to go for the heal here. And hopefully this is the last turn of Trick Room, so with +5 he should be able to sweep his team without much of an issue. Crit Psychic, you hate to see it. But he's going to have to go now, otherwise Executor has another Trick Room lined up. Should be good health, though, to handle blue without an issue. And plus he went to go +5, so... Turn 3 Trick Room and the Crit Psychic weren't great for him, but this should still be a win. Gyarados can be a range if you're not at +5. Alright, very interesting health here going into red. 84 out of 217. Now let's see how Snorlax is. I'm not sure. Not sure what the play is going to be with Gyarados' low health. I'm going to leave it up to the tool to tell me once I figure out all Snorlax's stats here. Was that 226 Snorlax HP? I can't tell. It's super blurry on my preview. With how small the bottom screen is, it's hard to tell. Still can't read what his HP is. Okay, he's gonna opt to full restore Gyarados. $79, 127. That's pretty good. And looks like perfect HP at 235, so. So we do have a means of beating red. It's not great, but there is a means. It is a very good Snorlax for red, but having to full heal Gyarados doesn't make things great either. I believe the full health Gyarados and his full health Snorlax, it would put Pikachu into healing. For those who are unaware, our strategy for red to get through Pikachu is going to be using Volt Tackle Recoil to kill Pikachu. So we're going to be doing some tomfoolery with switching Mons around in order to whittle down Pikachu's health with Recoil Volt Tackle such that Pikachu doesn't A, drop into healing range, and B, we actually kill it without stalling for too long. There are two different plays. There's a couple of different branching paths with this setup in order to take care of red here. Ideally, we want Pikachu to die on Blastoise. Or not up. We want Pikachu to die with Snorlax out, sorry. So that way, red will send out Blastoise. My bad. So we'll see what happens here. Pikachu has a chance of using Thunderbolt or Volt Tackle against Gyarados here. Let's see what happens. Alright, it went after Thunderbolt here. Also, Galino did not save, did he? I guess there's no risk in dying. You just go find some more max revives. Alright, we're gonna pop a max revive on Snorlax here. Then what he's gonna do is he's gonna send out Snorlax to bait Pikachu into using Volt Tackle and then swap to Gyarados, so Gyarados takes the brunt of it. With Gyarados at about half health from the revive, it will not be enough for Pikachu to enter healing range. But now Pikachu is going to use Volt Tackle. And it's going to be close, but it's not going to kill us. But Pikachu doesn't die either, so we follow it up with Crunch to make sure that we kill Pikachu. Volt Tackle did not kill Snorlax that time because he was -2 from the 2 times we sent out Gyarados. Now we just need to spend a turn max surviving Snorlax. Or, sorry, max surviving Gyarados while Snorlax dies to Blastoise. I'm going to set up a couple of X special defense here to tank the blizzards here. A nice thing about when we set our date at the very beginning of the run is that there's no hail, so blizzard is not a guarantee to hit. Unless you're Galino, then it's guaranteed to hit, apparently. I don't think Blastoise has missed one yet. He's going to full restore to be safe here. Got a blizzard miss. So ideally, you set up 2 X special defense to tank all of Blastoise's attacks, and then you set up 1 X speed to be able to outspeed everything on Red's team, and then finally, usually 5 X attacks. 6 if you have really bad attack. Galino has pretty good attack, so he should only have to go to 5. If you're really Galaxy Brain, you can try and set up flail ranges to flail Red's team instead of what you would normally do, but it is a lot of luck and math involved to get all the dots to align for flail. It looks like Galino wants no part in that today. He is full restoring whenever he's feeling threatened by a crit blizzard or something similar. Although I believe Blastoise at this point is out of blizzards, so it looks like he was just healing to be able to be at high health for the rest of Red's team here. So you weaken Blastoise a little bit with Waterfall and then follow it up with Strength. Snorlax is one of the bulkier ones in Red's team, and one that we want to make sure we get rid of in one shot. Snorlax has some pretty hard-hitting moves otherwise that are really bad to put up with. Lapras can be a troll because we do need to take 2 turns on Lapras. It has Body Slam, which can paralyze. There's Body Slam. Did not paralyze though, so we're good there. The last troublesome poke to deal with is Venusaur, because Venusaur does have Sludge Bomb, which does a lot, and can poison. But looks like Red wants to send out Charizard first. Too bad, we'll just take care of Charizard, no problem. Alright, so hopefully Venusaur cooperates here. Hopefully that didn't put Venusaur into healer range either. And there's the poison. I think Red heals this, I'm not sure. His attack is high enough for Waterfall to go into healing range. So I think it's best that he goes for the full restore here, if Red also goes for the full restore. He didn't. No. But he did go for Giga Drain, which isn't going to do a lot, so we're good. So that should be GG for Galino. Heck yeah. Congrats to Galino for keeping it under 4 hours, too. good for him.